Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Gen X Lounge, the bi-weekly podcast where we discuss the pop culture of today and look back at the pop culture of yesterday. But mostly we just shoot the shit. And let me tell you, there's going to be some shit shooting tonight about the Super Bowl. And joining me is...
You'll not see nothing like the mighty Quinn.
Mighty Quinn.
After that intro. I was kidding. He actually muted me, but I was kidding.
And then we also got Bolo.
Hey, what's up, party people?
Hello.
How about them birds?
How about them birds? And then also, for the first time in 2 episodes, unless he's logged off after hearing the Eagles fight song, Dutch is here. Hey, Dutch. All right.
What now?
Hey, Dutch. How are you?
Oh, hey guys, how's it going?
Good.
Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys.
Good. So yeah, I guess we got some stuff to talk about. We got a good anniversary. We got some new trailers. We got a couple birthdays, all kinds of good shit. But I think first and foremost, we would be remiss.
Are you ready for some football?
If we did not talk about the Super Bowl and the Philadelphia Eagles are world champions of football, which is fucking awesome.
How awesome is
how
that?
awesome is that?
It's not.
It is legit awesome.
It is not awesome.
It is spectacular because now the one and done conversation is over.
Now we just get to talk about all the property damage on Broad Street again.
No, it was good. It was peaceful.
Oh, it was peaceful. Yeah, just January 6th style.
Much more
Yeah,
peaceful.
we
than
totally
that.
didn't see any footage of traffic lights getting ripped out of the ground and freaking police.
Listen. We're gonna talk about the Super Bowl itself.
Well, I'll give you guys this. At least nobody ate horse shit off the ground this time that we
Not
know.
Not that we know of yet.
It is likely it happened. We just didn't
It probably
see
will happen at the parade, which is on Friday, by the way.
Are you guys going?
No, it's too
I
many
am not going.
people. Yeah, too many people.
I went
So
to the
you-
first one, and I initially had plans to go to this one, and then the fact that it's on Valentine's Day, and I actually have a wife, I don't want to be that guy.
No, I mean, well, yeah, I mean, Brandy has asked me a couple times if I wanted to go. Just the logistics, and I just,
Dude,
I'm
how
good.
close do you really think you're going to get?
Yeah, that's what I mean. If I was going to go, I'd go near where the parade starts, just so I could wave, and then I try to make my way back to my car and get out of there. You know,
And there's the whole other thing. What the hell are you going to park? You're going to probably have to park a couple
how you
miles
going to
away.
get there? Where you going to park? How long is it going to take to get out of the city once it's over? So, yeah.
I mean, unless you go to like a SEPTA station outside the city and then just go in, but I don't know logistically how that works.
Yeah. Have Dutch or Quinn, have you ever gone to one of your respective teams' parades?
I did.
Did you? Which
No.
team?
I went to the Yankees 09 parade and couldn't get anywhere freaking near them.
Yeah.
Well, we were there kind of off and like watching. There was a big screen set up, and yeah, it was just almost like they weren't letting anybody else through. I was actually when I was living in New York, I was on my way home, so I was going into the city anyway that day to go home.
So you were already kind of there.
Yeah, but it was hard to get anyway. Maybe it's different in Philly.
It seems to be a pretty straight shot. It's like down from this. I guess it starts near the stadium and just works its way to City Hall. So I think if you park on the outskirts of the city and kind of walk to where it's going to start, you'd probably be good to go. If you wanted to be like up near where they're doing the speeches and stuff, you'd have to get there. I would think you'd have to get there so early.
Yeah. Are any like the Xfinity Live or anything going to open early?
I'm sure all that stuff will be open at the crack of dawn. I'll happily watch all of it on my computer at work, but that's what I did last time too. So, but yeah, so the game itself,
Was one of the worst. It was the worst fucking Super Bowl ever.
It was a very
since my team got their asses kicked in 2000.
Yeah,
I don't know,
it
it's
was
pretty-
a very
Like that wasn't quite on the level of the Giants losing to Baltimore, but it was
it
like
was on
so
par
non-competitive.
with it was on par with when Seattle beat Denver in what was that,
Yeah.
2014 or something,
I think so.
or 16, whatever year that was, when they beat them 40 to 8 or 48 to 8 or whatever the hell the score was.
I would argue this was better.
reminiscent. Oh, it was fucking.
I would argue this is better because just watching this happen to Mahomes was really satisfying.
Mhm.
To Mahomes and the Chiefs for the
Absolutely. Defending
like
two-time
for somebody that
champs.
didn't have a dog in the fight. Really, I mean, that was to see them humbled like they were was refreshing. So that's the only, like, when Seattle played Denver, I didn't give a shit about either one of those teams. You know what I mean? Like, I did not care
Yeah.
what happened. I just wanted a competitive game.
Yeah.
It
This
was
one-
shocking.
Yeah, this one had a surprise factor to it that was, and it's always, Steeler fan, defensive guy. It's always nice to see a defense dominate. So, but still, it was.
Well, and that's the amazing part about the whole fucking thing is that Saquon didn't have any real big runs in the
Nope.
game. Like that's the one thing they were able to do was contain him for the most part, and still didn't matter.
Well, that was their whole
No.
game plan. That was the
I-
problem
I-
with playing the Eagles.
Yeah.
well,
Hey, they got this guy who can run. Let's go after him.
Yeah.
also, dude, the Eagles are just like, I'm not trying to toot my own team's horn. Like in 2017 when they won the Super Bowl, I felt like if that game had another 45 seconds to a minute and a half, they probably would have lost that Super Bowl, because I think Tom Brady would have gotten them downfield. I wouldn't have necessarily lost, because I think they needed a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie to send it to overtime. So I think that game would have at least gone to overtime, probably,
Yeah,
because
you've seen time and time again that you don't ever want to give Brady that. That time.
Never
Never
give Brady an inch.
Yeah, this did not feel in any way, shape, or form like that Super Bowl. This felt like one team that is so head and shoulders above the team that they were playing.
Yeah.
It almost felt like on one of those 90s Super Bowls, where it was like the Cowboys and the Bills, or the Redskins and the Bills, or the Giants and the Bills. Well, no, the Giants didn't blow the Bills out, but just utter domination from one team over another team, which a lot of those 90s Super Bowls were kind of like that.
I did not get the sense in the Eagles' first Super Bowl win that they were a better team than the Patriots. I thought they were playing a better game, but I didn't think they were the better team. This one, it was clear. Like the Eagles, I mean, that was like a Madden game. It really was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it wasn't remotely close. The only time it was close was literally when the Chiefs won the coin toss to start the game. I mean, at no point.
Dude, it was like Patrick Mahomes went to put his foot on the skateboard and then it just went flying away from him down the hill before he could even get on it.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
And like, I think, man, like really, they are that good. I don't think it was just some.
Okay, hold on, Brian. You don't think that you're not shocked that KC showed up like so lame and like weren't like
I don't think KC was particularly good all year, but I'm just saying I think the Eagles are legitimately this year winning the Super Bowl for this past year, the Eagles proved that they were the best team in the league. I mean, I don't think that it should even be questioned. I think it's plain as day. They were. They scored. Here, let me give you some fun stats. The Eagles in the postseason this year scored 145 points.
You really don't have to do this,
which is an NFL record. Which is an NFL record. They had a plus 70 point differential, which is the most in the last 25 years. The last team to do it was that Ravens team.
Please stop.
They had a 50 point differential in the NFC Championship game and the Super Bowl combined, which is the most since the 49ers in '89.
Oh,
yeah. The Eagles had more points at halftime than the Chiefs had total yards.
Yeah.
That's a funny stat right there.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Didn't they have like 14 offensive yards going into the half? Or was I mistaken?
23. We had 24 first downs and 23 yards.
It was ugly.
Yeah, this is the only game of the entire season, not the playoff, the entire season, where an offense did not run a single play in the opponent's territory for its first 9 drives.
Yeah.
Chiefs didn't cross midfield till there was 2:22 left in the third, when it was already 34-0. 6 sacks on Mahomes is the most he's ever been sacked, and it was one short of the record for the Super Bowl. Here's a fun stat that you'll appreciate, Dutch. The NFC East, which is the Eagles, Giants, Cowboys, and Commanders.
Oh, watch it there.
Almost said a slur. NFC East is the only division where every team has won a Super Bowl, and now each team has at least 2. So that's cool.
That is cool.
That is cool.
Man. Sirianni, the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, that you may or may not have heard me on this show refer to as a doofus and a dipshit.
I've called him a stooge.
Yeah. He's the first coach to win 54 games in his first 4 years. He's made the playoffs every year, 2 Super Bowl appearances, and a win. So I'm going to go out on a limb right now. I'd say Sirianni's the best coach in Eagles history. And you can laugh, but honestly, I think it's objectively true.
This is the best Eagles team that has stepped into the Super Bowl that we've ever seen.
Yeah. And Super Bowl was watched by 126 million across all platforms, which was a record. And it's funny, on Reddit, a ton of people were commenting in our NFL that they tuned in after they saw how much of a blowout it was. Because they were like, holy shit. So they just wanted to see the blowout. And it's actually been pretty cool because, like, this is the first time I can ever remember as an Eagles fan where universally in the NFL Reddit group, which has like 10 million members or something insane amount, where there's just like pure universal love for the Eagles. It will probably not last more than like a week, but it's pretty cool because there's.
I wouldn't go that far. It was probably universal hate for the Chiefs.
There is a lot of hate for the Chiefs, but a lot of the stuff that's coming out about the Eagles, like that video that I shared on my Facebook of Jalen with that guy with Down syndrome, and like AJ Brown visiting that kid in the hospital. Like they're just like a likable bunch. They seem like Jalen's like an old soul, you know. He's like a 60-year-old man in a 26-year-old man's body. So it was pretty cool, and people were surprised that it's the number one, or that so many people tuned in to see.
Who was wheezing?
I don't know.
That's Chris Jones.
Well,
Am I wheezing?
Yes.
With the black lung.
That's racist.
I didn't mean it. But yeah, so people were surprised that people tuned in to watch them get blown out, like that hadn't intended to watch it. And I saw a funny comment from Reddit user Power Hour 1990. He said, Marie Antoinette's beheading drew a large audience because people wanted to revel in the outcome, not because they thought she'd make it competitive.
I don't know. Okay.
Which I thought
I'll be honest with you. I was expecting a blowout. Like going into it, I mean, I was not expecting utter domination like we saw.
Me neither, yeah.
But I expected the Eagles to handle them because I hadn't seen anything special out of the Chiefs all year.
I wrote my final score of on a friend's Facebook post. We were talking about it, and I wrote 38-23, which shockingly was close to what it was, but in my head had it as a somewhat competitive game for a little bit until we pulled away at a 38-23. And in all honesty, this game should have been 40-6. They put all of, which is awesome, by the way, of Sirianni. They put all of their backups to play in the Super Bowl, which is pretty awesome. I mean, they got, you're a third string guy and you got to say you got to play a snap in the Super Bowl. That's cool. And of course, then the Chiefs, rang up 2 quick scores because God forbid, Pat Mahomes not have some stats. But your boy Kenny Pickett, he knelt down to finish the Super Bowl. I hate
that. I hate that because I feel like Jalen Hurts won the season. You know what I mean? Like he should have taken that last snap. Like put him back in for the last snap.
Yeah, I can see that too. But honestly, I think if he had cared, they probably would have. I just think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he was happy on the sideline, celebrating and everything. But still, I think it would have been more meaningful. But I mean, good for Kenny Pickett, man. That's as gracious as I'll be about Kenny Pickett.
And Cooper DeJean had that sweet
pick six, baby.
The pick six.
Which, he's a good player.
Wasn't that also wasn't his birthday also that day?
His birthday and Saquon's birthday. He got his first ever NFL interception. It was in the Super Bowl. He returned it for a touchdown, and it was it was
amazing.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome. Have you ever heard the Cooper DeJean song?
No.
Hang on. Here's the Cooper DeJean.
I'm feeling we're about to find out. Though.
Is not a safety. He's just a corner who'll lock down your number one. DeJean is CB1.
Oh, I have
said
heard
his
this.
white ass can run. DeJean is CB1.
I think, gentlemen and listeners, that this will be the final football talk of the year. So, sorry if you've been tuning in for that. Sorry, it's going to go away till September. Well,
I'm sure we'll talk about the draft. I'm sure of it.
yeah, we'll have something to say. I'm sure, but that'll be the last big football talk for the conceivable future. Let's do some news. All right, we got some news. We got some birthdays. Today is Thanos' birthday. 57th birthday, Josh Brolin.
Nice.
Happy birthday to that guy. Brand in the Goonies. Thanos, obviously. My favorite Josh Brolin role, honestly, is No Country for Old Men.
No Country, yeah.
That's a good one.
It's a great movie.
That is a good movie.
He's still good in it.
He didn't have a lot of dialogue in it, but it's pretty good.
But I mean, nobody really does. He's a man of few words in that movie, but that's a cool movie, and that's a movie I had to see like twice to appreciate. The first couple of times I saw it, I was kind of like, I don't know, but man, that's a movie I watch every single time I come across it. It's fucking great.
Yeah, it's good.
It's so good. And then another birthday on February 6th, just passed. 63rd birthday. Happy birthday, Axl Rose.
63?
63, Axl Rose. Yeah. So 13 years older than me. And then we do have an RIP, sadly. And
it wouldn't be a Gen X Cons without it.
I know. This is a weird one though. Like it just got announced like 2 weeks ago, but when I looked it up, it seemed like he died in December. So I don't know. But we're talking about John Irwin, who was the voice of He-Man in the the classic He-Man cartoon. He was also Reggie in the Archie cartoons. He was on 22 episodes of Rawhide as Teddy. He was the sportscaster voice in Back to the Future 2. And he did some animal voices in Babe, apparently. So RIP to that guy. I loved the old He-Man cartoon when I was a kid.
Good stuff.
Yeah. And then what else we got? The Grammys just happened. And I don't really know much about who most of these people are. As probably neither do you. Honestly, album of the year was New Blue Sun by Andre 3000. No, that's a lie. That was nominated. The winner was Cowboy Carter by Beyonce.
Yeah.
Beating out Blue Sun by Andre 3000 and Short and Sweet by Sabrina Carpenter, among others. Record of the year. What the fuck is the difference between record of the year and album? Like, really?
Is record just a song?
You're the music guy, Dutch. What is it? What's the difference?
Record or album of the year?
Yeah, like what's
the difference?
Yeah, exactly.
I thought record was just like the single.
Is it a single?
Yeah, that's that.
Why would not just call it single of the year then?
I have not watched the Grammys in a long ass time.
So, record of the year.
I should know that answer.
Like Us by Kendrick Lamar, who, by the way, did the halftime show. at the Super Bowl. And all of the worst people that you know hated it.
Yeah.
Shockingly.
Well, the worst people in it was my father.
Well, your dad's not okay. Your dad's like 80.
Very true.
I don't think there's
It
much that they
was, it was not geared for him.
Yeah, who could they put on for the halftime show that your dad would be like, nobody talk for the next 20 minutes?
Anybody that could, that nobody talk, he wouldn't care about anything.
Yeah.
You could bring back, you can bring John Lennon from the dead and he would not care.
Wow.
But if as long as the person could sing and put on a good performance, he would appreciate it. Like the Lady Gaga, he will watch because he knows she's got talent.
Yeah.
But yeah, as soon as he saw Kendrick Lamar, he turned the sound off on the on the TV and started talking about something. So
I did not watch any of it. Well, that's a lie. I saw bits and pieces of it. It seemed well done, but it also seemed like the mix was really low for some reason, and it just had a weird. I felt like the energy seemed off because the mix was low. I was pacing around my kitchen during halftime.
Sure.
I didn't pay much attention to it, but and see, that was record of the year, but then we also have song of the year. So what the fuck is record of the year? Because Not Like Us also won song of the year as well as record of the year. So I don't.
Does record have something to do with
I don't know,
money,
man.
like money making?
Doesn't everything? I don't know. I have no idea. It's weird.
Yeah.
Best new artist was Chappelle Rowan.
Chapel Roan, yeah.
Chappelle. How do you say it?
I don't
My
know.
daughter
Pretty
knows.
sure it's Chapel Roan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually did like her. I liked her speech a lot because she was talking about just like record labels actually doing more to freaking support artists, which is
helping out the up and coming artists. Yeah.
Yeah.
God forbid. Best pop solo performance was Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter, which I know that song, but I can't understand a lot of stuff she's saying. But that's a catchy little tune. My kid plays it.
Yeah, that was Song of the Summer. Yeah.
Yeah, best pop vocal album was also Short and Sweet, Sabrina Carpenter.
Okay, you ready, Brian? Here we go. Simply put, record of the year deals with a specific recording of a song and recognizes the artists, producers, and engineers who contribute to that recording. While song of the year deals with the composition of a song and recognizes the songwriters who wrote it.
Oh, okay. All
right.
I'll accept that. Then we got rock performance, which, it seems to be a very backseat to everything else now in the Grammys. Best rock performance was won by the fucking Beatles, which
what?
Yeah, For Now and Then, which is that song that they kind of like digitally?
Yeah, that was like the unreleased track that they like reproduced.
Finished with AI, probably. God knows.
I don't know.
Yeah, it beat out Beautiful People by the Black Keys, The American Dream is Killing Me by Green Day, Gift Horse by Idols, Dark Matter by Pearl Jam, and Broken Man by St. Vincent. I haven't heard that Beatles song, so
I haven't heard any of the songs on that list, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. And then the one that I actually only cared about is the best metal performance, which was won by my favorite band, Gojira.
Jethro Tull. Oh.
Jethro Tull did not.
Again.
Favorite band, Gojira, for Mea Culpa, which they performed to open the Olympics. And
was it the Olympic performance that won, or was it just the song?
It just says metal performance. I'm assuming it's just the song because they released the song as a single like a month or two after, probably, so it could be nominated, I would guess.
Okay.
So that one, and that's cool. And that song is about the French Revolution, which may or may not be topical to today's times. Best rock song was Broken Man by Annie Clark, sung by St. Vincent, I guess. I don't know. Best rock album, Hackney Diamonds by the Rolling Stones. Like the Rolling Stones and the Beatles won Grammys in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I don't think of St. Vincent as a rock band either, but that's fine.
No, the Grammys are all fucked up, man. I'm telling you.
They always have been.
Yeah, they always have been ever since they gave Jethro Tull the best metal Grammy over Metallica.
Yeah.
in the height of Metallica's power, they gave the metal Grammy to Jethro Tull.
I was gonna say, I don't think that was quite the height of their path. That was Injustice for All. They were still like a couple years away.
That would have been for Justice for All. I mean, dude, Injustice for All should have won a goddamn Grammy though. Like,
I just remember Eminem having a fit over the Grammys because they gave like Best New Artist, they gave to like Norah Jones instead of 50 Cent when he came out.
Yeah.
And Eminem went on a meltdown.
The last little bit of interesting news that I saw today was that apparently in this quarter alone, 700,000 people have canceled their Disney Plus subscriptions.
That is pretty crazy.
Why is that?
I don't know. I mean, I have ideas. I mean, I've downgraded all of mine at this point. Like Netflix keeps on bumping up their cost. Yeah, I'm not paying $25 a month for Netflix anymore. Like I went down to the $8 with advertisement one because I'm like, you know what, I don't care anymore. Like I'll if there's advertisements, I'll get up and get a drink or something. Like who gives a shit at this point? Like it's
I
insane.
got a bunch on my chopping block, like, and Netflix is like first among them. I had it specifically for Stranger Things, and then the only reason I hadn't gotten rid of it already is because they started having NFL games. So
yeah, I think the smart thing to do is to start renewing them as you need them, and otherwise just getting rid of them. Because like HBO Max is pretty close to being on the chopping block, but then I'm like, well, Last of Us is pretty soon. Yeah. So Disney Plus.
I'll probably keep HBO Max, but Hulu I don't need. It's on its way out.
We have the Apple version of Hulu, so. Amazon I almost never watch, but again, like I use Prime, so it's like I'm not going to get rid of my Prime because I use it for the free shipping anyway. So but that's how I don't know. There's always something coming out
that I'm keeping, but I can tell you Disney's probably up there on my chopping block list too.
Daredevil's next month. Like,
oh, that's right. God damn it!
Yeah,
not even a month. It's like 3 weeks probably or something.
Yeah, but listen, I don't need to rewatch the MCU. I don't need to rewatch Star Wars. You know what I mean? I do like the TV content that they have, so I would probably keep it because of that. But Endgame and Infinity War are on TNT or TBS every 2 days. You know what I mean? That's
exactly. Like. You can catch most of that stuff on TV anyway. And So as far as their like TV programming, there's one I want to talk about when we get to what we've been watching. So.
Okay.
So yeah, but that's all I have for news. I do have a little bit of Dogman though, but I don't have a Dogman song yet. But I do have.
You didn't tell me. He didn't tell me we were doing Dogman. I would have had the song ready.
Listen, man, you can't expect Dogman. You never know when Dogman's going to appear. Dogman do what he wants.
Dogman doesn't wait for you to be ready.
Yeah, that's why he's Dogman.
I guess there's no real danger of Dogman going away.
No, he's definitely not going away. Something strange happened this past week in Cherokee County, Georgia, according to this.
Oh, let's hear it.
To start this one, the comments are better than the actual story. I'll tell you that right now. To start, the first night happened just about 5 days ago. I went outside at 11 p.m. to smoke. I don't like smoke in the house, and it felt like something was watching me, even though I could see two almost glowing eyes behind the fence in the woods, but figured it was nothing or the lights outside messing with my eyes. The second night is when things got weird. I was going back out to smoke. I got this horrible sense of fear and that feeling in my gut that something terrible was near and was set on me. It freaked me out so bad I ran back inside and slammed the door. I've never had a feeling like that before. So earlier the next morning, me and the people in my house were leaving and we could smell the smell of death. And it was something awful. It was like something big had crawled under the deck and died.
Smell of death.
Yep. Later, when we got back home, the smell was gone. I decided to go back out around 9 or so, and that's when a rock or a pine cone, I couldn't see what it was, comes flying at me from behind our fence, almost hitting me in the head. That was the final straw, because I had been convinced that something was out there, and I locked everything up. I haven't gone out on the property past 8 cents. It's got me that spooked. Could I be crazy, or could this be the actual Dogman?
Could be side effects from the cancer from all that smoke. But I love the explanation after he said he went outside to smoke, and then he felt the need to be like, I don't like smoking in the house.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know.
Maybe just say I was outside.
Yeah, just sounds so some of the replies to his question, could this be an actual Dogman, are, hey, hey, I'm from Cherokee County. Anything in particular that made you think Dogman? Rock / pinecone throwing sounds more like Bigfoot behavior to me. Cherokee County has a decent history of Bigfoot activity, especially around Alatoona. Dogmen don't really hang around in the South much anyway, though it's not unheard of. There was a report from the military base in Fort Stewart back in the day that is particularly upsetting. He gives no further details.
It was just particularly upsetting. You take his word for it.
The end. Yep, just take my word for it. All right.
I'm looking up Fort Stewart Dogman report.
The next comment under that was, though I'm not from Georgia, I agree. It sounds like a Sasquatch. The next comment was, it was some creature, that's for sure, especially with the sense of dread and then that smell. Science. It was definitely some kind of creature. A doofus and a so that's our Dogman minute for this.
And there we go.
Want to talk about trailers? There were trailers.
Trailer.
We got trailers
Playoffs.
during the Super Bowl. We got playoffs.
Coming soon to a theater near you.
I didn't pay super attention to most of the commercials during the Super Bowl because I was very stress watching.
Right.
The Jurassic Park one, or Jurassic World one, excuse me, was really early. I think it was before the game
It was way, it was like the first big trailer ever shown.
Yeah. And that was the same trailer that hit online the week
prior.
Yeah. So as much as I love dinosaurs and giant monsters and stuff, and I feel like I should really be, this does nothing for me. Like, I don't know. I mean, I'll see it, but I don't know. Do any of you care one way or the other?
If I'm being honest, I didn't give two shits until, and not for me not wanting to. I love Jurassic Park and I love dinosaurs, but like that last movie, just like I was like, what was we wasted the reunion of the original cast of from the first movie on this. Like, come on! But seeing what I've seen from this trailer. The lighting looks a little bit more natural. Like the CGI looks pretty decent to my eyes, and
well, it's directed by our boy.
So, and Gareth Edwards is. I like his style.
I like him too. Yeah.
I think he is a good director. Yeah, you know what? I've seen enough that interests me. The only thing that it was like there's this other island now. It was the first island. That was never ever mentioned by Hammond or that other guy that we only got introduced to it, back in 2018, Lockwood or whatever the hell his name was. And it's like, okay, it's like this. How much worse? These were the worst things that were left behind. I'm like, oh, so there's like a Rancor. It's like
T-Rex. So there's some kind of creature that's like a hybrid of what, like a person and a dinosaur. Like what is that?
I think I don't know if it's supposed to be a hybrid of a person and dinosaur. I think it's just one of the earliest attempts at creating a T-Rex that went horribly wrong, because you could tell it actually does have T-Rex. It looks like it looks like a cross between the Rancor and the Muto, like from what we've seen.
Yeah.
So,
but
I mean, like, I'm looking forward to it. I think that what I've seen has me interested enough to give it a chance.
So is that a theater trip for you?
Most likely, yeah.
Yeah. What about you guys? Quinn, I get the impression you probably don't give a shit about.
No, I don't. Yeah. I mean, I didn't even see the last one with Sam Neill and them coming back. I kind of lost interest. I think I mentioned before. I kind of lost interest once Chris Pratt was training Velociraptors.
Yeah,
I was like, and that's after losing interest, in the original trilogy. So I love the first one.
He's overhated.
Yeah,
I like.
I love the first one. I think it's one of my favorite movies of all time. And then everything after that is just kind of cash grab, more of the same. So,
Dude, I guess this is where and I said overhated, not overrated, because I think
Yeah.
Jurassic Park 3 gets a bad rap. The Lost World's my favorite Jurassic Park film.
why?
Yeah, that's.
So
Is it just because of your age
not
when
saying
you
it-
saw it? Possibly.
No, because I saw Jurassic Park when I was 9, and that changed like everything for me.
Yeah.
It's just Jurassic Park is the better movie. I just prefer the tone of Lost World. That was the first, not the first. I'm sorry. That was I think the second movie that Steven Spielberg and Janusz Kaminski worked together on. He's the cinematographer, and they've worked together ever since. Spielberg hired him on Schindler's List, and Dean Cundey shot the first Jurassic Park. And Janusz Kaminski is so good with the way like he kind of like sets up lighting and shadows and stuff. Like the look of Lost World is like and like all the sense of wonder is gone. The dinosaurs are on the loose. It is like purely a trip for of survival and rescue, and it's just like I enjoy so many scenes in that. Like just I don't know. I can't describe it. I just prefer that movie. It's my favorite, although the original Jurassic Park is better. It's the best.
Well, I think
I don't disagree super strongly with you. I think they're both really good. I think I like the whole first trilogy. I even like the third one.
The
there's
third one
parts
gets a
of the
lot.
second one that are really good. The scene when they're in the trailer and it's hanging off the edge of the cliff and the glass is cracking.
Beautiful.
She's laying on the
Suspense.
glass.
You start to see it spidering, like the glass starts spidering.
That is possibly more suspenseful than any scene in any of the trilogy, the first trilogy, in any of the movies.
I think Dutch just touched on why I like the first one above. Like the sense of wonder is what made the first one.
Exactly.
So when you take that out, it's just a monster movie. And this is not to say it's a bad monster movie. It just lacks what made Jurassic Park, an awesome Spielberg movie.
And that wonder exists partly because of the fact that at that point we had just never seen dinosaurs that looked like that on the big screen. So you
like
almost
when they see the dinosaur, and he takes off his glasses, and like that's the first time we had seen that too. Like, we'd never seen dinosaurs that looked that incredible.
But that T-Rex scene in the rain.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Amazing.
It's just the tension, and it still has the wonder, but also the horror movie monster aspect of it. It's just perfect. That's a great movie.
Dude, the T-Rex just snapping that last fucking wire and just stepping out and kind of roaring in the direction of both cars. Like, I never get tired of that. Again, you won't hear me say Lost World's a better movie. I just happen to like it better. But
that makes sense.
I understand that. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely movies that I like more than others that are in no way, shape, or form.
I didn't hate the second one, and I didn't hate the third one. To your point, but I also didn't need either one of them.
The third one had really great looking velociraptors. Those designs were so killer.
Yeah. It also has the velociraptor that talks to him on the airplane, which is always I always forget about it until I watch it, and it always makes me be like, "What the fuck?" And then I'm like, "Oh
just think right out of the movie. It was a dream. He was just dreaming. Yeah. Although for some reason he's dreaming of the very velociraptor he has not laid eyes on.
Yeah, that's gonna later on in the movie.
Should have pulled like.
But I also
out.
Yeah, I probably told you guys this before, but in '93 I was a projectionist in a movie theater when Jurassic Park opened. So I got to, not only did I get to see it, I got to see it with audiences every day. I got to learn like the jump scares, where they were, and I would come down from the booth just to be in the theater to watch those. So, I have like a special relationship with that movie, so that the other ones are just not gonna match. Yeah. So I'm probably biased, but now we're at the seventh one in the series. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Okay. I love Scarlett Johansson. If it's a good action movie, I'll watch it for something to do. But no, I'm not going to get hyped. I'm not going to stand in line for it, for God's sake. So,
nah.
Yeah, I wonder if it's going to kind of ignore the any of the previous ones. I feel like it has to ignore some of the other ones.
No, I doubt it. It's gonna because everybody said that about like Jurassic World. Does that ignore this? Because there was that big rumor that it ignored the second and third films, and it doesn't at all.
No,
like there's references in the other two films to Lost World and JP3. So I doubt they will. It's all one universe.
This movie looks like it takes some cues from the Lost World book. Have you read anybody read the book?
Yep, I've read both books.
Yeah, it's got the scene. It looks like it has the scene where they're going down the river, and they wake up.
Well, the river was from Jurassic Park 1.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That was from Jurassic Park 1.
Yeah. And then there's also this scene where they're swimming towards them on a boat, which looks pretty cool. I don't know. I'm not decided whether or not I'll see it in the theater or not. I might.
I mean, I like dinosaurs, and I like dinosaur movies. Probably too much to skip it. And the thing is, like, you know me, dude. Like, I'm the eternal optimist. Just because the last one might have sucked doesn't mean this one's gonna suck. And it's like, give it a chance to do its thing. So I don't know.
Then we got a short commercial telling you to go on to YouTube and watch the longer trailer for Thunderbolts, which I did. And this might sound fucking crazy, but like I might be looking more forward to Thunderbolts than any other movie this year, at least any other superhero.
And everything I've seen from Thunderbolts has done nothing for me.
Really?
I'm the opposite.
I think it looks fucking great. I just love the whole tone of it. I like that they're just some people thrown together to try to solve a problem that looks like it was probably should be handled by the Avengers, but since there aren't, and that's you guys realize, I don't know if I saw it online, the asterisk after Thunderbolts is basically like there because it's supposed to be like for when the Avengers aren't available.
That's funny.
Yeah. So, which is basically what this looks like. It's like, well, there's no Avengers, so we need to do this. I'm super excited. I think it looks fucking great. I'm 100% seeing that in the theater.
Yeah, I'll see that in the theater. I will not see Jurassic Park. I think I'm over the Jurassic Park series.
Y'all are going to see Superman, though.
I absolutely seeing Superman. I'm looking.
Did you guys watch the Puppy Bowl? Did you watch the Puppy Bowl?
So Superman didn't have anything during the Super Bowl, but it did have a commercial during the Puppy Bowl, which I did watch online.
And that precious little crypto.
Yeah, it was essentially the same TV spot that we've already seen. Did it have anything new really in it, or was it just edited?
No, I don't think so.
In a different order, maybe. And that looks good.
It was cute.
Yeah, and then we were supposed to get, and I didn't see it, but the rumor had it was that we were supposed to get a Fantastic Four trailer during the Super Bowl. Quinn, you messaged me asking about it.
I was shocked.
I thought we were going to get it.
Yeah, I thought we were going to get it too. We didn't, but we did get a Fantastic Four trailer since last time we recorded. So, what do you all think of that? Speak at
I'm
once.
excited. I'm excited for it because I love the tone of the trailer. It looks like it's kind of pushed into the 60s era. I do love the visual of Galactus.
Yeah,
that was a great shot.
Yeah, overtowering the what the Statue of Liberty was.
Yeah.
That visual, I was just like, ooh, this looks good. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I thought it looked.
Tell you what, the shot that I really loved was Johnny in orbit out of flames. You know what I mean? Just too high in the sky.
Yeah.
Just kind of motionless there for a sec. But yeah, that looked as good as I could hope it was going to look. You know what I mean? Didn't see any of Mr. Fantastic in action, which is a little worrisome because that's the trickiest special effects
in
for
real
me.
life. Yeah.
Well, hopefully, maybe that just means they're taking extra care and time to try and get that effect to look as good as it possibly can. Because everybody was theorizing that when he's drawing on the chalkboard all the way down at the other end, you're going to see in the movie that his other hand is outstretched, writing something on that end. I thought it was great.
That would be cool. That would be cool.
How
great to see Herbie. was not expecting to see Herbie, the robot.
Herbie, the Fantastic Car is in it.
Yeah.
Car.
The
thing looks perfect.
Yeah, it looks exactly how I want it to look. It looks like they're an established superhero team, and you see shots of like kids wearing Thing masks, and the Thing looks fucking great. Also,
yeah, he does.
I'm happy they didn't change his voice in this one.
Yeah, I'm glad he just had a normal guy voice, and they didn't try to like.
That was a little off-putting for me. I'm not going to lie. Like that's going to take some getting used to for me. I was expecting some, no pun intended. I was expecting some gravel in that voice.
Yeah, a little mockery.
and it's not there. But yeah, you guys know. I mean, is it common knowledge? Is Herbie common knowledge? Like with the Fantastic Four, does everybody know why that robot is part of it?
I do not know why.
I don't know. I mean, I know they have a robot named Herbie. Yeah.
Well, there was a Fantastic Four cartoon in the 80s.
Oh, well, yeah, that they couldn't show the Human Torch.
They were afraid of having the Human Torch because they thought kids would set themselves on fire.
Yeah.
So Herbie was the replacement.
Yeah. I didn't know that was. I knew that was why he was in that cartoon. I didn't know he was made.
My God.
Mug.
And I don't know if that's the origin. That's his origin in the comics, but I just know that they were like, well, we got to have something, and they put Herbie in the cartoon. So to see him, I love like the eyes made out of like little video reels, that were spinning back and forth.
It's like a reel to reel. Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, the whole aesthetic is really good.
Wasn't the pun intended?
Now,
I've said fantastic like 4 times with the relation to that trailer, without knowledge. I'm just like, because that's how I felt about it. I was like, God damn, this is fantastic.
Yeah, it's really good.
We need Superman and Fantastic Four to be the super fantastic like Barbenheimer.
Yeah, well, it's Superman, Fantastic Four, and Jurassic World are all coming out within like a 3-week span.
Consecutively, yeah. It's Jurassic World, Superman, then Fantastic Four.
Yeah, all in July. So
good job, Cannibal. Good job setting yourselves up to get cannibalized, Hollywood.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it didn't hurt Oppenheimer and Barbie.
Yeah, but that was like an internet phenomenon almost. You can't count that's a very special thing that happened, which I'm glad it happened because it was cool to see both those movies do well. We need movies to freaking do well.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're inclined to go see Superman, I don't see what would make you not want to go see Fantastic Four, though. You know what I mean? I think they'll probably do equally well. One will obviously probably do a little better than the other. I think Jurassic World is probably. I mean, dude, the thing is, you can't say all those movies make $1 billion. That's why they keep making them. These Jurassic World
that's how
movies.
That works.
Like this one will probably make $1 billion. People love going to movies and watching dinosaurs.
Which sucks because the $1 billion thing has become like the standard, and it shouldn't be.
And it shouldn't. No,
because it's such a hard thing to do, especially post-pandemic.
Yeah, especially now. But yeah, I thought it looked really good. I'm excited. I guess it looks like it takes place in the 60s, but I think it's probably taking place in the 60s, not on this planet. Because it's also
it's a multiversal.
Yeah, it's
like
a
different multiverse. Well, didn't they have it say? Doesn't the trailer say something like Earth? Doesn't it like identify Earth, whatever number it was?
I don't think so.
But
I think by the end of the movie, they will be on this Earth with these superheroes, and this where they'll end up. I think I'm seeing a lot of rumors or speculation that Galactus destroys their world, and somehow they get pulled into our world.
Oh wow, that sounds like a fascinating concept.
Well,
I hate that, but go ahead.
I haven't seen it mentioned anywhere, but the shot where he is standing over. Now, I guess it takes place in the 60s. There's that shot of him hovering over, or not hovering, but over New York City. And the Statue of Liberty is there, and obviously the Statue of Liberty in the Marvel world now is different. It has Cap's shield.
Yeah.
Well, it did,
or it did until Spider-Man fucked it all up. But but I feel like if this takes place in our city, there's no way that they can retcon the existing MCU to say.
No, it definitely doesn't. There's no
by the
way.
way, this happened in the '60s, but we've never brought it up. You know what I mean?
Because if you look, it's like a retro future version of the '60s. And
Yeah.
somebody had said like one of the things, it might have been what he was drawing on the chalkboard, but I think somebody had pointed out it looked like Reed Richards was like calculating a multiversal bridge at some point in there. Like I don't know how true that is, or how like the people who are smarter than me are like analyzing this stuff frame by frame. So I mean, obviously they have to end up like you're not going to have Doctor Doom. Well, you know what? Maybe I'm not going to say. You know what? I wouldn't put it past them for Doctor Doom in this Fantastic.
I don't think Doctor Doom will be in like an end credits scene or something like that.
You have to.
I think he has to be in it, right?
Like, yeah, I don't know.
I mean, he's the villain in the next big movie. You know, in the Avengers movie, I think you have to introduce him at some point. And my guess would be in that Avengers movie, they'll introduce the Fantastic Four, similar to how they introduced the Guardians of the Galaxy in Infinity War. So that's my guess. I guess we'll see. And then we didn't get any trailers for Captain Falcon, which comes out in 2 days.
Get a little worried, man. That movie's not been getting the best reviews. Although,
the first batch of reviews I saw were very positive, and then
they usually are. Always ignore the first batch. Always
they started to go downhill from there. The people who have seen it, not like professional reviewers, but people that I've just read their thoughts on Reddit, seem to think it's good to it's okay. Nobody's come out. No, I haven't seen anybody. I've seen reviews that say it's bad, but I haven't seen any just general Joe Schmo like us saying that it was really bad. So
I saw a guy today say it was like an episode of the show, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier show.
Yeah,
that's the feel that it gave, but which is not encouraging. You know what I mean? But my expectations are so low that if it's average to good, I'll be, thrilled.
I mean, we're all planning on seeing it this weekend, right?
Yeah. Did you want to go with us?
I won't be able to, but I'm going to hit a matinee on Sunday.
Yeah, we meet. I'll grab you a ticket. We're seeing it Saturday morning. Me, Bolo, and Quinn.
But you guys are staying more local, right? Like you're not coming up like.
No, yeah, we're seeing it out. Yeah, we're seeing it in Wilmington. Right? Yeah. For Superman, we'll have to figure something out where we can meet up. But we got plenty of time.
IMAX, man, freaking.
Yeah, that's what I would like to. I would like to do it in IMAX if we can.
Dude, and like I said, if I want a real IMAX theater, I go to King of Prussia. We saw Godzilla -1 there. That theater is just awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, it's awesome. So we'll next episode we will all have our thoughts on Captain Falcon. Yippee-ki-yay, Captain Falcon. So yeah, I guess those are any other trailers, anything else? I know we talked about it, I think last episode, the Monkey, which comes out I think next weekend, which I am seeing that in the theater. I think it looks fucking great.
That's next weekend?
Yeah, I think it's the 21st.
All right. So, if I'm up north, I'll see it with you because
I'm looking forward to that one. Yeah. All right, cool.
When does Reacher come out? Soon, isn't it?
That is also next week.
All right.
I'm gonna say it's like the 19th or something like that. So
okay.
All kinds of good shit coming up. All right, let's talk about shit we've been watching or reading or doing
our feature presentation
or whatever. Dutch, you haven't been on in a while. What's new with you? What have you been watching, reading, doing? Anything interesting?
Let's see. I finally finished binging Superstore, which is that one I was telling you guys about one time. That was a delight to watch. I've been trying to figure out something else to watch because I've been in the mood. Like I said, I had my plan of rewatching the whole DCAU throughout the winter, and I don't know if that's going to happen at this point, even though I would still like to, just because some of that shit rocks. I'm up for suggestions, but I haven't really had anything kind of new.
Yeah. I've seen a few things, but I'll wait because I think some of them we share in common. I think, other than me, who's been watching Spider-Man,
I've been watching.
How's it called? The Amazing Spider-Man?
I think
What's
it's
it called?
Friendly Neighborhood, isn't it?
Friendly Neighborhood.
Yeah.
All right, so you're caught
Yeah,
up.
that's-
Caught up. There's 3 new episodes that just dropped. What, yesterday?
I thought they came out on Wednesdays. No, am I wrong?
Or maybe then they came out today. 6, 7, and 8 are out today. Then I think.
I'm not caught up on those, but I'm caught up on
Okay, yeah. So you're as caught up as me then. 'Cause I am caught up to this week. What about you?
I guess
Quinn?
today is Wednesday, isn't it?
Yeah, today is Wednesday.
All right. So no, I haven't seen the ones that dropped today, but that's pretty much the only new thing I've been watching. It's fine. It's harmless.
You're the Spider-Man guy. What do you think? I mean,
It's like I said, it's fine. It has its moments. It's not. I can tell you, it breaks no new ground whatsoever. It's rearranging the same stories that we've seen, but for for all intents and purposes, it's nothing new so far. There's not a lot of in-suit action, to tell you the truth, at least so far. I mean, there's just a little bit, but it's mostly focused on Peter Parker in high school, which I don't know why there's such a fascination with that dynamic. The whole time I read Spider-Man comics, so from when I was a teen, on, he was in college and beyond. So like my experience with him in high school was so minimal, but that's all the stories that have come out since, MCU started, or since the Tobey Maguire movie started. So I'm eager for a more adult version of him. But doesn't look like this one's going to do it.
You're going to get into this one, yeah. So yeah, I'm all caught up on it too. I think it's good. It's way better than I thought it was going to be. I think I like the animation style. I like that I love how Dr. Octavius looks exactly like classic comic book Dr. Octopus. That's fucking great.
That's my favorite part of the show is the way it looks.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
I think it's well done. I think it's not like, all the characters are likable for the most part. The animation's decent. It's not great. It's not groundbreaking, but the art style is cool. Like I said,
but the whole episode where he's trying on he's like workshopping the different costumes.
Yeah, I was like that.
It's so dumb.
That was silly.
Yeah, I agree. Like that was just. Like,
I was like, okay, why?
There's a whole series of comics where he does adopt those particular suits for a while because I forget why Spider-Man is out. Like he can't be Spider-Man for some reason, but he still wants to be a hero. So he develops these other new, personas. And that was a mildly successful run in the comics. It's just played for laughs here, and it's stupid. You know what I mean? So it's just
I just thought that whole sequence was just like them wasting 10 minutes. I was like,
yeah.
I know he's not going to keep these on, so just get him back to his normal.
Yeah. And it didn't make sense because Norman's like, I like everything that you do. Let's try everything different.
Let's make you fly. Like, doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. The whole jetpack thing bothered me. That was when I was like, this is one I actually hate. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's like, please stop. Let's get back to. But
I like that Spider-Man. Amadeus Cho is in it. He's a big character in the comics. He actually becomes a Hulk at some point. His best friend in the show, the girl, is one of the Runaways, which they had their own show for a while.
I remember.
I'm not super familiar with her character. That was kind of after my time reading the comics, but so it has some cool things they could explore. But to me, just now, it's like I'm in no hurry to watch the episodes that dropped. I'll just catch them when they come on, and really, it's just like something to watch. It's not. If I wasn't a Spider-Man fan, I wouldn't even be bothered.
Yeah, it looks like in one of the next 3 episodes he fights Daredevil, which is kind of cool. Yeah, I'm curious to see how they do that. And
Daredevil always seems to beat him in the comics.
Yeah,
for whatever reason, he usually outsmarts him.
Age and experience, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff is so almost cliched, like the gang stuff.
Yeah.
Or I feel like I'm watching like a 90s Spider-Man cartoon on like
Yes.
You know what I mean? Where it's like, dude, this is not how
gangs work.
realistic how gangs are. Like,
yeah,
it's so strange to me. Like the kid's brother joined the gang, and then the kid goes and he's like football star, and he's like, no, you're not in this gang anymore. So to get him out of the gang, he has to agree to be in the gang.
He has to join the gang. Yeah.
Yeah, like what? And then they keep calling him away from football practice, even though he's known throughout the city as being like a football stud, star quarterback. And I feel like even if he did join the gang against his will, they'd probably be like, yeah, go play football.
Yeah, they'd be in it for the long game. Yeah, they wouldn't.
Go play football. They wouldn't be like, no, you have to skip football practice to get into this rumble. Like, it's so dumb.
Yeah, that whole subplot is like after school specials type material.
Yeah,
like it's
really
real.
Is. Like at the end of the episode, I feel like he's going to turn to the camera and be like, "All right, kids, today we saw what happens when you join a gang."
But that character of Lonnie Lincoln in the comics is Tombstone.
Yeah, well,
and I caught that vibe right. Yeah, just what Brian's
about to say. They call him that at the end of the last episode, right? Yeah, because he says you're not. I forget what they were calling him, but they're like
superstar.
You're not superstar anymore. You're Tombstone. Yeah, because he did good in the Rumble, which again is like gangs.
You may be an episode ahead of me then because I don't remember that. But
there's a big Rumble coming that you got to look forward to. Which is literally it's like two
do they
gangs
call the Rumble?
More or less, it's like West Side Story. Two gangs.
Yeah, I was going to say, do they snap on their way to the
start slugging it out? Nobody has guns. You know what I mean? Like
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's funny because the voice actor playing. We didn't talk about this. This was like 2 weeks ago. The kid who's doing the voice of Spider-Man made some stupid ass comments about he was glad the show's not woke.
Yeah.
And I was like, all I could think of was watching it. I was like, this show is woke as shit. What are you talking about?
That show is woke as shit. People are literally bitching about Dr. Connors.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they gender swap Dr. Connors. They race swap the Norman Osborn and his dad, and his
son, yeah.
The Osborns, yeah. Dude, Peter lets somebody go because they're down on their luck when that chick robs the pizza place.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean?
It's stupid.
All the stuff with Tombstone is, with the cops and how the cops, are eyeing him up when he's walking down the street. And
I got a question for you guys when you're done talking about the show. And we just brought that up.
Go ahead.
Well, no, it doesn't because
I had the show.
I had this. Well, kind of does. Oh. I had this discussion with someone like maybe 2 weeks ago. Why in the hell? When did race swapping characters actually start angering people? Because I don't remember anybody giving a fuck that Billy D. Williams was Two-Face. Nobody gave a fuck that Michael Clark Duncan was Kingpin. When did this shit happen?
I mean, you got to think people probably cared, but there wasn't any. There wasn't any way for them to
discuss on the internet.
There wasn't any way for them to all congregate together and care. I mean, I don't know if you remember, but or if you've ever heard the story, but like when they cast Michael Keaton, they were like inundated with angry.
Oh no, they because they just saw him as a comedy actor.
Yeah, so I imagine if the internet existed then, it would have the same thing would have happened.
But that's a great example. What you just said is a great example because that just shows how dumb and short-sighted people are. Because all they're looking at him is, he's Mr. Mom, he's Beetlejuice. He had just did a movie called Clean and Sober right before Batman, and that movie is if you've seen it, is
not very funny.
It's a depressing drama. So I'm like, you don't think this guy's got the chops to freaking to pull it off? Yeah, but it's interesting. It's interesting because like the
that was also in the time of Stallone and Schwarzenegger though, where an action hero had a certain
had to look
stereotype.
Batman had to look like Mr. Olympia, and it's
right.
But yeah, I mean, to your point, you're right. Everything.
And by the way, just so we're clear, and I'm probably going to get canceled for saying this. I wouldn't want to see Clark Kent Kal-El be race swapped. I would love to see a black Superman like Val Zod.
Yeah.
So it's like I can understand people who are really passionate about certain bigger name characters, like maybe being adverse to that, and it's not for any bad reason. It's literally just because they want the character to kind of look like who it is. But like we've had this successfully. What's up?
I was going to say, I think if you, I wonder if there would be an uproar if they race swap Nick Fury back.
Probably because Samuel L. Jackson's the best.
That's what I mean. You know what I mean? So I don't think it has.
Like, actually, I would be pissed.
I don't think it has necessarily negative, it has to have negative undertones. But if you're going to race swap a major character that, like the main character that people grew up with,
Batman or Bruce Wayne Batman or Kal-El Superman,
I think a Peter Parker, or you're going to make T'Challa white. If you're going to totally revamp the cultural background of the primary hero, then you're telling a different story.
Yeah, but that's why we have Miles Morales, and that was a perfect way to have like a different Spider-Man, and like
exactly.
But you could tell an interesting story with a black Superman, right? Like a whole different. It opens up a whole other world of stories that you can tell. You know what I mean? But you don't need it to be a black Clark Kent.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah,
it just needs to be a different guy.
But to that end, I don't give a shit that they gender swapped Kirk Connors. You see what I mean? Because he's not the focal point of the story. I didn't care that they gender swapped the Penguin in the new Batman.
Oswaldo.
That actually worked. I enjoyed that.
I thought it worked well.
It worked way better than I thought it was going to. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
I was surprised.
Like her being like a nasty cabaret mob boss kind of deal.
Yeah, she was kind of like the villain from The Little Mermaid. You know what I mean? Like, that big personality.
Yeah.
If you write the character well, I don't care whether it's male or female. I mean, it all boils down to the writing.
But I think you would care if it was the main character. You know what I mean? It was the one that you were relating to that made you love that character. I think you would care.
Yeah.
If they fundamentally changed that character.
If they just made Bruce Wayne black, I would be irritated.
But if they did a different Batman story where he grew up as a young black kid, that's a whole different story, and that's an interesting story. And you just call him something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just you call him Bolo Jones.
But that's but that's a great example. Because they race swap Commissioner Gordon back and forth, and nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, I didn't give a shit about.
Jeffrey Wright's a great actor.
Jeffrey Wright is
he still looks like Commissioner Gordon. He's got the mustache and he helps Batman. So
he does a good job in the role. Like I don't see his color. I mean, you see it, yes, but you don't. He doesn't come off.
You were gonna say that phrase.
It doesn't come off as, hey, this guy is black and he's Gordon. It doesn't feel like that at all.
That'd be pretty funny if he did.
Yeah.
There's a perfect example. No, did anybody give two shits that Eartha Kitt played Catwoman? Back in
the 60s, probably not.
And that's like an extreme example because you had the three different Catwoman. She was primarily white, like she is in the comics, and like just somebody came up with like, let's cast Eartha Kitt, and it just seemed like it wasn't a big deal until the freaking.
Because the worst people now have or their voices are amplified greatly compared to what they would have been in the 60s. I'm sure in the 60s there were people that tuned into Batman and
for sure there was
when there was a black Catwoman. I'm sure.
Yeah, but Cesar Romero was a Puerto Rican Joker.
Yeah, exactly. He wouldn't even shave his mustache off.
And he delivered in that role. I'm sorry. I mean, it worked.
He was a gay Puerto Rican Joker.
And I have no doubt in my mind that had they gone full and brought, Harvey Dent back in Batman Returns, that Billy D. Williams would have been great.
I would say
that's a missed opportunity. I wish I would have saw that.
I would have too. Tommy Lee Jones did not play.
Oh yeah, he would have been better than Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah, he did not play that right at all.
Tommy Lee Jones was playing a Riddler or Joker version of Two-Face.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Like there was no dichotomy between those villains.
Yeah. Bolo, you seen anything else other than Spidey?
No, that's pretty much it for me. I mean, I've been focusing on that. I just finished what was it, Landman. I started watching a comedy, which is like it's an old show. It's a fire show comedy called Tacoma FD.
Oh
it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So enjoy.
Is that the one with the that crew from Super Troopers?
I'm not sure. I don't think it's them.
I know they have a fireman show.
Yeah, that's
that whole crew, but I don't know if what it's called. I don't know if that's it or not.
Yeah,
I get clips. I get clips of that online where it's the same. It's just like Super Troopers, except they're firemen.
Yeah, it's very entertaining.
Okay.
How about you, Quinn?
No, man, I haven't seen anything really new. I stopped watching Rogue Heroes because it's not on Amazon anymore.
Yeah,
so
I'm right there with you. I will wait. Yeah. I think all the episodes might be out now, though. If they are, I'll probably, because I think they're only $1.99 each or something. So I may just like maybe it's now that football's over, it seems like a good thing to do on a Sunday afternoon is to like binge through it. Maybe I'll do that this weekend. I don't know. I did see a movie. I saw Wolfman.
The Wolfman. How was it?
New Wolfman. How was it? It was.
Was it not as bad as people thought it was going to be, or was it?
There's a good movie there, but it wasn't a good movie. It wasn't a terrible movie. Brandy hated it. She said it was awful, but I didn't think it was terrible, but it was definitely not great. It's very short. It is definitely far from your typical werewolf movie. In fact, I don't even know if he is a werewolf, honestly.
Oh, what?
Yeah, so it starts out in a flashback where there's a like a survivalist type dude, and living out. I think it's in Oregon where it takes place, and with his son, and he takes his son hunting, and they see the werewolf that lives in the woods. It's apparently this legend that there's a dog. It's basically a Dogman. Is basically what it is.
Yeah.
And they see it, and the dad basically
goes to pet it.
No. The dad's kind of like an abusive. The dad's kind of an abusive asshole to the kid, and then it cuts to the present where the dad, who was the kid, has moved away, and he's got a family and a wife, and his dad has been missing for years, and he gets a letter basically saying like his dad's been declared dead, so he can go up to their cabin in Oregon and basically like clean it out. So that's what they do, and within 20 minutes, a half hour of the movie, you're right in the heart. The movie's short; it's like an hour and a half. Like they're driving to the cabin, they see the Wolfman in the road. They get into an accident. He gets scratched by the Wolfman, and then the whole movie takes place over the course of a night. And within like 2 hours, the dad's a Wolfman, and
he's a
the
Wolfman.
Transformation and stuff is interesting. The way he turns into the monster is kind of interesting. The stuff with his daughter is supposed to be super dramatic and sad, and parts of it are a little touching, but like it also does stuff I knew was going to happen. I was like, he's going to end up saving his family from the other Wolfman, and sure enough, the other Wolfman busts in the house and fights Dad Wolfman, and then he kills that Wolfman, and guess what? When he kills it, he sees his dad's tattoo on the other Wolfman's arm. So. And then at the end, it steals the ending of the remake of The Fly.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
He just grabs the shotgun and holds it up to his head, and
it's not.
Is it a silver bullet or?
It's not that direct, but no, there are no silver bullets. There's no indication that the moon has anything to do with it. It's just he got scratched by this thing, and it infected him, and he became the thing. Basically, is what it boils down to. I think what they were maybe trying to do was show that he needed to break the cycle of abuse because his dad was an abusive jerk to him, and he was kind of at certain parts would snap on his daughter, and he would apologize and be like, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be like that with you. So I think that was what it was in its own strange, stupid, heavy-handed way trying to show. I don't know. It was fine. It passed. It was an evening at the movies. It was fine. I wouldn't go out of my way to watch it, however. So, yeah, that's it for me. I don't think I've seen really anything else. So, on that note, we can go back in the day. All right, we got a few back in the days, but not a ton. But we do go way back in the day to February 10th, 1940. Which was the first ever Tom and Jerry cartoon released to theaters. Puss Gets the Boot is the name of the short, which I'm sure we've all seen at least once. It's notable because, well, one, it's the first Tom and Jerry cartoon, but it wasn't a Tom and Jerry cartoon. It was just a cartoon meant to be a one-off. Tom is called Jasper in it. If you remember, the lady screams Jasper at him multiple times. Yep. Jerry is named Jinx, although he's never actually named in the thing. And like I said, meant to be a one-off. Viewers wrote to the studio requesting more, and then it was nominated for an Academy Award. So MGM decided at that point that they should make a series of it. So for the next 15 years, Hanna-Barbera made 113 more Tom and Jerry shorts. 12 were nominated for Oscars. 7 of them won. And their names were changed. Yeah, and their names were changed when they had a contest in the studio to come up with new names. And animator John Carr won $50 for his submission of Tom and Jerry. So why that was picked, I could not find an actual reason. I mean, Tom Cat, obviously, but I don't know why Jerry is the name of the mouse. But yeah, so I threw that in there because I feel like Tom and Jerry was such an integral part of our childhoods. In that it was
still
on.
Funny.
They're still hysterically funny. Yeah, and they're on. They were on every day. They've all held up. They're all really funny. I don't know if they're all politically correct anymore. I'm sure they're not. But they're of the time, and they're just fucking great cartoons. I didn't watch Puss Gets the Boot. I couldn't find it on YouTube, a full copy of it, but I did watch the one. MGM has been, well, I guess it's Warner Brothers at this point that owns Tom and Jerry.
I was going to say, what Warner says Tom and Jerry.
Yeah. So they've been putting a lot of their cartoons just on YouTube for free, like Bugs Bunny, all of their stuff. And they were all getting suggested in my algorithm, and I watched the one where Tom dies and goes to heaven, and he has to get Jerry to sign the note saying he forgives him, and he dies because he's pulling the rug, and he pulls the piano down the stairs, and it smashes into him, and kills him.
Oh my god.
They're all so good. Like those, I love them all. One of those things that if I just turn those on and it was just a nonstop like 8 hours of that, I would probably just plop my ass down on the couch and just watch them.
I used to watch them on my lunch break at the mortgage company. It was just hilarious.
Yeah, they're so funny.
I love the going fishing one.
Oh yeah.
Where and also the cowboy one, but the going fishing one where Tom is behind the bulldog who doesn't see him, and the bulldogs keep switching directions, and Tom stays behind him. And finally, the dog looks under his legs.
Yeah.
And for a second, Tom doesn't move, but then he just climbs up his fishing pole and sits at the top. And the dog does that classic cartoon. They're so good.
That's the one where he also holds the dog up with his fishing pole. Like he's got the dog he's got him propped up with the fishing pole under his chin while the dog's asleep.
Yes.
Speaking of the cowboy, when somebody posted online the other day, it was like to this day one of the funniest things that I've ever seen in cartoons, and it's that cowboy one. where he pulls out the cigarette. He rolls the cigarette, uses Jerry to lick the cigarette.
Yeah, and then he squeezes Jerry so his tongue comes out.
He squeezes Jerry, and then he takes a huge drag on the cigarette and smokes it all the way down to nothing, and then blows the smoke, and it says "Howdy" to the girl cat.
Classic.
It's so good.
That's the best one.
Yeah, that one is great. The another one
is you
ain't my baby.
Yeah,
that's another one with Tom on the bass.
The one where he's under the water with the reed, breathing through the reed underwater because he's running from the bees. And
and the bees go in the straw.
The bee looks down the straw and he squirts water up at its face, and then they get that funnel and they put it at the end of the reed, and they all and then the water just explodes, and his mouth is like 10 times bigger than his body. It's full of bees.
I love like the Three Musketeers ones with Jerry and his little like nephew or whatever.
Tom gets killed in one of those. They chop his head off with the guillotine at the end.
Oh my god!
They became so good. At animating like slapstick comedy. Like I think they're like untouched. Like as much as I love the Looney Tunes and the Warner Brothers stuff, dude, the Tom and Jerry stuff is untouched for just like and almost no dialogue. You know, like pretty much most of them had no dialogue. You know, anytime Tom would talk, it was so fucking funny.
Don't you believe it?
Or when he's singing to that when he's talking to the cat and he's like, it's like a flame, a roaring flame, and his foot's on fire. It's like I could feel it burning. He's like, hey, come to think of it, something is burning. His whole foot's on fire.
Remember the one with what was it, like Jerry's uncle or something was the country singer?
Crambone.
Yeah, Crambone.
He did right. Crambone. Come here, cat named Whisker.
Didn't Jerry also have a cousin that was like a bodybuilding mouse?
Yes.
That like beat the shit out of Tom, and they kept on swapping places between him. Yeah, that's a great one. Yeah, that's a great one too. The white mouse will not explode.
Oh, geez.
All right, moving
Dutch
forward.
has been quiet throughout.
I know, Dutch. You love Tom and Jerry?
Dude, I love me some Tom and Jerry. I'm listening to you guys go off.
You just listen to us.
Oh my god.
Tom and Jerry was. I mean, those I feel like were on TV all throughout your childhood too, right?
They were.
Yeah. They were a daily, you know.
Well, I mean, if they came out in the 40s, man, if they debuted in the 40s, then they're part of everybody's childhood.
Yeah.
If they're still around, you know.
Not anymore. I guarantee none of that shit's getting. I don't know. MeTV shows Saturday morning cartoons every Saturday, so I wonder if they show any of that stuff. But they're, you know, think about just like how much classical music we learned from watching those cartoons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So.
And then there was that weird era where they were friends. Jerry had the bow tie, and they were friends.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of those.
You remember that?
That doesn't work.
There's also the even weirder era that was done by some Russian animator. There's only like 4 or 5 of them, and they're extremely strange. Like the sound effects are very odd. The animation's really weird. One of them is the one where they go hunting for Dickie Mo. Whale.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, and one of them is the one where the guy's having a barbecue, and Tom keeps messing up his barbecue. They're very, very weird.
I love the ones where the animation style, like Tom's real furry. You know what I mean? Like his hair. It's like the earlier ones where it's more
like a cat. Yeah,
he's more cat-like.
Yeah, there was I used to have a chart I posted on Facebook a few years ago that had like the evolution of Tom throughout. It had it like throughout the different years.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was when he was like the like almost like just a cute cat and not like a bipedal almost human cat.
Right.
This is what he turned into.
Not like a human-shaped cat.
yeah, exactly. And then moving forward to February 1st, 1997, we had the debut of Mystery Science Theater 3000 on the Sci-Fi Channel. It moved Yeah, that's when it moved from Comedy Central to Sci-Fi. It was on hiatus for a while. Then it moved to the Sci-Fi Channel, where it stayed for the following 3 seasons until it ended. And it stayed ended until they did a Kickstarter and got it on Netflix for a couple of more seasons. And then they did a couple of more seasons after that. But that was.
I always loved that show. I was not the super fan that you were, but I always liked that show.
Oh man, that's an all-timer. It's on literally. It's on right now in the room that I'm in. It's at any time where I just need something as background. That show goes on because it's on so many. You can stream it on. There's a Pluto TV has a streaming channel. Roku TV has a streaming channel. Shout TV has a streaming channel where it's just 24/7. So it's always on and it's great. What the fuck was that? All right. Now, as previously stated in multiple episodes, 1985 was 40 years ago.
Ouch.
Which means we are now, well, no, not you, Dutch. Me, Bolo, and Quinn are now older than Principal Vernon in the movie The Breakfast Club, which released this month in 1985.
I'm not that upset by that because the way people age back then, like if you had told me he was 30 when he made that movie, I'd have believed it.
Yeah, I actually should have looked how old he was, but yeah, Breakfast Club, written, produced, directed by John Hughes, stars Emilio Estevez, Paul Gleason, Anthony Michael Hall, Judd Nelson, Molly Ringwald, and Ali Sheedy. Was released, like I said, this month in 1985. Had a budget of $1 million, and it went on to make a little over $51 million. Debuted at number 3 at the box office behind Beverly Hills Cop and Witness. So,
did you see it in the theater, Brett?
No, I was too young. I remember hearing about it. I think Bolo, you're a little older than us. Did you see it in the theater?
I did not. I believe I saw it on cable at home.
Yeah, I think I saw it for the first time on VHS.
As old as we are, we were not in high school when that movie came out.
We were not the proper age for that movie.
Yeah.
I
was in junior high.
Yeah, I was
7th, 8th grade.
I was still in elementary school, I think.
Yeah, 7th, 8th grade for me. I was in Skyline, I think.
Yeah.
87 was my freshman year, so
mine too.
Okay, so
but my sister was in high school at the time, and
I remember hearing a lot about it. But not really knowing anything what it was about or anything. And obviously the soundtrack was kind of played like crazy.
But all those actors were famous to me. You know what I mean? At that time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because they were so big in the pop culture off of all their various movies.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, they're Brat Pack basically. The entire film was shot at Maine North High School in Illinois, and in 2015, they were moving offices to a new building, to a new school, and they found a first draft of the script in a filing cabinet.
What?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's pretty crazy.
Just been sitting there for X amount of years.
Yeah, just hanging out.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
I remember thinking that high school was awesome. You know what I mean? Because the rinky-dinky school I was in at the time. You know what I mean? I just remember looking at that library.
Looks nothing like this. Yeah,
exactly.
Dude, my high school library looked nothing like that. I mean, that is a really nice library.
Yeah, it was.
That was nicer than the public library I went to.
Right.
Yeah, that was a nice library. So yeah, the movie takes place on March 24th, 1984. It's got about 5 students at Shermer High School in Shermer, Illinois. Yeah, you got the nerd Brian Johnson, the meathead Andrew Clark, the goth chick. Although I was goth a thing then. Yeah, goth was. Kids listen to Bauhaus. Allison Reynolds. You got the popular girl Claire, and you got the Hesher. the Hesher, John Bender. That's what we called people like John Bender in my high school. We were a Hesher.
I've never heard that term before. Just this
Hesher?
podcast.
Yeah. It's basically like like maybe a pothead or just like a stoner dude. Like I'm sure he probably had an Iron Maiden jean jacket.
That is actually a new term for me. I've never heard that.
In his locker.
Yeah.
So they're
must have been a Kenneth thing.
Yeah, it might have been. They're all assigned detention on a Saturday, and Richard Vernon is the principal, and he assigns them all to write a 1,000-word essay describing who do you think you are, and that is essentially the plot of the movie.
And then all they end up doing is just pawning it off onto goddamn.
Pawn it off on the nerd. Yeah, they pawn it off on the nerd. So, being in elementary school, a lot of this wouldn't have resonated with me. But once I got into high school, like a lot of it did, because you have Claire, who's like the popular kid.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was any of them, I would have been Brian, coincidentally enough.
Me too. Except Brian was good at math. So
yeah, that's what I was going to say too. Except I didn't necessarily get good grades. So.
He was in the physics club, for God's sake.
So I was Brian without any of the
any of the perks.
I was gonna say, did any of you guys ever actually get a Saturday?
No, we didn't. Detention? That was not a thing in my school.
Yeah, I thought that was strange to be in school on a weekend for detention. Detention for me was always right after school.
Yeah, detention.
Detention was after school.
I had one. Well, it usually is, except depending on the severity of what your punishment is, they'll give you a Saturday detention.
Really?
I had one in my life.
You did?
Yeah,
I'm
you bring a flare gun to school.
Did you tape someone's butt cheeks together?
Did you skip school to go shopping?
No, that's only a Tuesday detention. I'm trying to think. It was probably something like you probably skipped. I wasn't in high school. I was in middle school actually. So no, it had to have been.
So
what did you do in middle school?
We didn't have that. Wouldn't even have been an option for a Saturday.
I'm pretty sure it was in. Okay, I'm reasonably sure it was. If it wasn't in middle school, it would have been in 9th grade, my first year of high school.
Huh.
And I cannot remember.
A Saturday day detention.
It was a Saturday morning detention, not the whole day. It was like 2 hours. Huh. But yeah.
I don't know if my parents would be thrilled or pissed if I had a Saturday detention.
Oh, I was.
Yeah, mine would definitely not have been happy.
Yeah, not happy in that house.
Detentions in my school were always an after school thing, and then there was suspensions, which you could get an out of school suspension, which was really, really bad. And then there was in school suspension, which was bad, but it wasn't like holy crap. And I think if you got an out of school detention or suspension, in my school, if you missed like a test or anything like that, you just got a 0 on the test. You couldn't make it up.
That doesn't seem fair.
No, it doesn't.
Have any of you guys ever got an out of school suspension?
No.
Yeah, I got suspended. I got suspended in 4th grade for not doing my fourth timetables.
They kicked you out of school?
Out of school in 4th grade for not completing. It was a times table setup. We had to do times tables from 1 all the way to 12. I didn't do a series of 4.
What?
And I got sent to the principal's
The punishment
office.
does not fit that crime.
Does not. I did not
do
fucking homework.
And you didn't cuss the teacher out or anything, did you?
I said nothing to the teacher. I went down.
Was it a white school?
Yeah, I'm old enough to where which it was a white school. So
yeah, that's why.
Oh yeah, sorry.
So essentially, I go down to the principal's office, and I had 2 options. I could get the paddle, or I can get the envelope.
Fuck?
Oh yeah, they were gonna whoop our ass with a paddle that was 3 feet long that had holes in it. It was like a cricket paddle. This is Warner Elementary.
So,
Bolo went to school in 1954.
No,
yes, I did.
You still have the birch stick?
No, listen. When I went to elementary,
it was a croquet. Yeah, and
I went to elementary.
Let me finish real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
I said nobody's beating me but my father. So give me the envelope.
And what was in the envelope?
Yeah,
out of school suspension.
Out of school suspension. So I go home just a day.
Oh, okay.
So I go home, and my father's a teacher. So here's the real problem.
Yeah.
So you didn't have a day off?
No. I ended up. I didn't tell my father till the next morning because I was terrified. You know what I mean? So I literally slept in the same clothes because I was so scared. And I go into my father's room and he goes, "Why are you in the same clothes as you were yesterday?" And I hand him the envelope. And he just goes, "Go to your room."
Yeah.
No, as far as
when you're a kid, man, that kind of anxiety, you know what I mean? It's for real.
I'm pretty sure I didn't sleep because I was so scared.
If your school still has the dunce cap, but I see Brian is wearing it currently. So,
when I was in elementary school, I want to say I was in 3rd or 4th grade, but our principal had a paddle. It hung above his desk.
I can't believe it.
And I got sent to the principal's office. So there was this. We had a pipe sticking out of the wall.
I thought you were going to say he beat you with a thick man.
No. And you were not allowed. And one of the rules was like you were absolutely not allowed to climb this pipe. And so me and these 2 other guys were standing around the pipe.
What did you do?
We're standing around the pipe at recess, and
hold my beer.
One of them climbed up it, and all 3 of us got sent to the principal's office. So we're all sitting in the principal's office, and the secretary's like,
he did it.
No, and the secretary's like, Mr. Robbins has somebody else in there right now, so you'll have to wait. So we sat on the bench. Mr. Robbins was the principal. His door was shut. We could hear him talking to this kid, and he mollywopped this kid with the paddle like 4 times for whatever he did. The kid came out crying, and believe me, we were all like, "Oh my God!" Like we are about to be destroyed. And like he didn't actually do anything. He didn't pull us into his office, I don't think. But I distinctly remember hearing this kid get paddled.
We were right on the cusp of when that was common. Like, because my principals, when I was that age, elementary school, they did have paddles in their offices. But I never, I never heard of one being used. But I knew they had it. And my parents would tell me like horrible stories where the nuns would just beat the shit out of them.
Yeah, I used to hear they hit them with their rulers or all kinds of stuff. Yeah. So, but yes, the reason for these kids being in detention is Claire, who's played by Molly Ringwald, skipped school to go shopping. Bender, who is Judd Nelson, is pulled the fire alarm. Which, when I was in high school, one of my friends pulled the fire alarm, and that was 3 days out of school suspension for that.
Yeah.
Then you have Andrew, who is Emilio Estevez, who is the jock, and he is the one who taped the kid's butt together. And then
that was so Brian.
Sad. Yeah, I know. And it's
when
Brian's
he tells
friend.
that story. That's the saddest one.
Yeah. And then
I still want to know what kind of tape that was if some skin came off.
Oh,
was the.
That was the job.
But that was such a powerful thing, particularly if you related to the nerd. When Brian's like, he's like, "Yeah, you know him." He's like, "Yeah, I know him." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But not only did he know him, like it could have been him because he's that.
Exactly.
In that class.
Yeah.
So.
And that Brian is getting an F in shop class.
Yeah.
So he brought a flare gun to school. For reasons that aren't quite specified. And then Allison is just there because she has nothing else to do.
Yeah.
And that is Ali Sheedy.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like you said, when you get into high school, like everybody does kind of fall into those categories, which is, so it's interesting. I was talking to a friend maybe like 5 years ago, and we went to high school together, and she was super, super popular in high school. Like, to me, I was like, holy crap, you were so popular. And she was telling me how much she hated high school. And I was like, really? Because you were like easily in the top, 1% of cool kids in the high school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she's just like, no, dude, I hated it. I was bullied. I was like, really? Like, who bullied you? Just the other popular kids just bullied each other, I guess, as well as everyone else. So I don't know.
Well, you've seen Mean Girls.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
Yeah. So, that's, that story, that movie. I mean, there's some problematic things in that movie now, especially with the stuff, Bender under the desk, sexually assaulting Claire. But the overall, like, theme of that, I think it would hold up. Like, if you showed it to kids today, I mean, they probably wouldn't understand certain aspects of it. But I mean, I don't know. Or maybe
I don't know. Bullying's a little different now, isn't it?
Bullying is, I don't know. I mean, it's definitely not tolerated, like it was, or like not necessarily tolerated. Maybe not the right word, but like schools don't look the other way with it now. So I don't know. But like Josie,
but I mean, even among the kids, like I feel like it gets called out more.
Yeah, and kids are way more accepting of different differences than they were. I think, like, it's funny because Josie will talk about the popular kids, and like she'll be like, I went to the basketball game and the popular kids were all sitting behind us and I was so nervous. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, the popular kids. And I'm like, you're popular. Like, no, I'm not. Like, what are you talking about? You have like 40 friends that rotate in and out of my house. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
But what makes a nerd in 2025? Like, what could you be into that's nerdy?
Yeah, I don't know.
You're looking at 4 of them.
Well, no, I mean, everything that made us nerds back then is cool now, and it wasn't back then.
Yeah, I remember.
So I'm curious, what makes a nerd
in study hall? You know what I mean? Like hiding the comic books in study hall in my notebook.
Yeah.
So that no one would give me shit about it. You know what I mean?
And now we're just 40 and 50-year-old men with action figures and comic books and posters.
Mm-hmm. But I don't think now. I think a kid walking in the study hall and busting out a comic book, it would be nothing. You know what I mean?
No, it really wouldn't. Because it's all mainstream. They all came of age.
Yeah. We walked so they could run.
Right.
Damn right.
But I wonder if, society was accepting of it back then, if we would have got it out of our system and would still have posters and stuff. But maybe it was like the hiding it and, the fact that it was so personal to us because of that is why it's still, prominent in our lives.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Not to get all deep on you.
No, but I mean, I think you're kind of right. And I think we were also the first, and Dutch, your generation was probably the last group of kids that specifically had hyper marketed to. Like shit was so marketed directly into our brains.
Yeah.
That it in a way that doesn't exist anymore because there's so much more now for kids to do and look at. But like when we had 5 channels or whatever, and we all went home and we all watched the exact same cartoons after school, like we all were sitting there for how long after school every day, watching the same, marketing.
Well, when we were 12, we could probably name off the top of our heads. We could probably name 4 toy companies.
Yeah.
At 12 years old, I don't know if anybody could do that now.
Yeah.
We'd be like, oh, Hasbro, it's out, like it, because they were all had the commercials right at us all the time.
Toy Biz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Hasbro. Kenner.
Yep, Kenner.
So the behind the scenes stuff, Anthony Michael Hall was the first to be cast as Brian. Molly Ringwald was originally cast as Allison. She wanted to play Claire. Other actresses considered for Claire were Robin Wright, Jodie Foster, Diane Lane, and Laura Dern.
Wow.
Diane Lane would have been good.
Yeah.
I did not like Molly Ringwald when I was a kid.
No,
I didn't really appreciate her until I was an adult.
Yeah, I didn't either. I couldn't, and I definitely couldn't see her in the role of the goth girl. But that's the role she originally was. So she did end up getting her way. Emilio Estevez was originally cast as Bender, but then during auditions, no one stood out to play Andrew, so they swapped him. And then Nick Cage was considered for Bender.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he'd have been good.
Yeah, John Cusack and Alan Ruck also auditioned, and Cusack.
Alan Ruck.
Yeah, and John Cusack actually got the part, and then before shooting, it was decided he was not intimidating enough, so they gave it to Judd Nelson, and who apparently was a dick the entire time, stayed in character almost the entire time, and almost was fired because he harassed Molly Ringwald so much off camera. He was actually almost fired from the fucking movie. Also cast, but not in the movie, was Rick Moranis as the janitor. But he was going to portray it as an over-the-top Russian caricature. So he was replaced by John Kapelos, who played the janitor in the movie. That would have been interesting, but I don't think it would have fit with like the overall tone of the movie, is having him acting like a lunatic Russian.
That's so strange because he got the Ghostbusters part because John Candy wanted to play it over the top like German with like the later Hosen and stuff. That's really funny.
And then, of course, there was a soundtrack album. It peaked at number 17. The main song, "Don't You Forget About Me."
Don't you?
It's still a good thing.
Yeah, it was released as a single February 23rd, 1985, and it reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. And as we recall last week, last episode, when we did the top songs of 85, I think that was like 17 or something like that. I don't remember, but it was in there. It was in there high. So
I don't know if it's true, but in the movie Pitch Perfect, they talk about that song, and he said it was originally written for Billy Idol. And ever since I heard that, I'm like, I can see it.
I can hear it. Yeah, I can hear Billy. Yeah. I mean, because Billy Idol does that. He does Eyes Without a Face. I can hear him do.
Yeah, that's a good song. Eyes Without a Face.
Yeah. So yeah, that movie again. Like, I didn't see it. I saw it on VHS when I was in high school.
Same.
I also remember. I'm pretty sure, Quinn. Do you recall? They show that in college in the auditorium?
I feel like so. Yeah, like we went to see that.
Yeah, I think they did freshman year. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. But I had seen it 50 times by then. You know what I mean?
I've seen it so many times. I mean, I think if you're going to rank, top movies of the 80s, it would have to be pretty high up there.
That's of the Brat Pack movies, it's in the top 3.
Yeah, that particular genre of movie. So yeah, fucking A, man, 40 years old. It's crazy. The amount of movies that we can go through this year is fucking nuts. So yeah,
I'll say Breakfast Club better than any movie I saw this year.
In 2025.
Not to harp on the fact that movies suck nowadays. I know I was talking about that last week, but Jesus, man.
Yeah, I can't disagree. It's a solid flick, man. It's Anthony
Michael Hall is so good in that movie.
He is
so good.
Yeah, he has many girlfriends in the Niagara Falls region.
Yeah, the way he talks, the way he just delivers his lines makes it seem like it's ad lib. So I'd be curious to see how much he was just talking.
Yeah.
But like he kind of stumbles over his words at times, and he's just. And then when he's got the sunglasses, when they're smoking, hilarious.
Yeah. For the longest time, I thought if you smoked pot, that's what would happen. You would just become like a totally.
It's not.
It's not quite accurate. That's when you smoke movie pot, I guess. You definitely don't dance in the hallways and stuff like that.
Maybe you.
Yeah, that whole part's a little silly, but all in all, man, that's a great flick. I think it holds up, and it's good shit. That's it, man. I think that's the show.
What?
Yeah, I think that's the show. Sorry.
How about them birds, man?
How about them birds?
How about Barkley?
You know, like I wasn't even gonna say it because, like, in my head, I was just thinking, okay, we're gonna get done with this without one more damn reference to the Eagles. You're like, how about them? You're basically like Andy Reid. How about that team, baby? But you're like, how about them birds?
Saquon Barkley has a stellar. Saquon, Billy Goat. My man has a stellar season that ends with a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Tell you what makes me, I'm super jealous because not only did you guys win it all, which is always the big thing, but it's like a perfect win for you. Like it was a no stress Super Bowl where you just dominated the whole time, didn't come down to the last second or anything like that. So I'm very jealous of the joy of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
trust me when I say I'm watching this game and I'm like I'm stunned that was happening. You know what I mean? I expected a more competitive game coming from a two-time defending champion, and he just got manhandled, man. It became an R. Kelly video. They were just getting pissed on, bro. I'm sorry. I got to throw that out there. That's what was happening. They were getting beat up.
They looked like they looked like they just expected to win. Like they just phoned it in and we're like, hey, we're the Chiefs. We just show up and win. That's what we do. And it was boot to ass from the opening.
Bolo is so pleased with himself right now.
I am.
He's always pleased with himself.
Always.
Yeah,
that's who I am. That's what I do.
Listen, Giants are about to sign Matthew Stafford. We'll get Cooper Kupp to come over, draft some more offensive line. You know, we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
I actually saw today that the Giants currently do not have a quarterback on their roster.
Yeah. Enjoy Russell Wilson next year, Dutch.
Dude, no, I'm telling you, they're gonna make a play for Matthew Stafford.
Enjoy Aaron Rodgers next year, Quinn.
We ain't taking Aaron Rodgers. We ain't taking Rodgers.
I think he's going to the Steelers.
No, we'll start Justin Fields before we start Aaron Rodgers.
I don't know, man.
Mike, he does have a good relationship with Mike Tomlin, Aaron Rodgers. So that's frightening, but he's washed up.
This quarterback class is not doesn't set the world on fire. I'd be happy with the Giants just signing like Matthew Stafford, going out, just keep rebuilding the line, take the best guy off the board at 3.
Yeah,
I'd be sad. I mean, because we're in all likelihood we're going to suck next year again anyway. But if we can get a little bit of respectability back, that'd be nice to actually have a not as terrible football season. Then find a way to draft Arch Manning.
Your division's pretty tough, so you can expect a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Thanks for reminding me of that.
All right, gents. Thanks everyone for listening. We do appreciate you. Make sure you tell your friends to listen because that's how we get new listeners. You can always send us an email at thegenxlounge@gmail.com. Next episode, all of us should have reviews and thoughts and prayers about the new Marvel movie, Captain America: New World Order. No, what the fuck is it called?
Brave New
World.
Captain America: Brave New World Order.
New World Order.
Yeah.
Is it New World Order or Brave New World? Now I'm
Brave New World. It was originally New World Order, and then they changed it. But New World Order just lives rent free in my head. So.
I love how we said we're done talking football and then wrapped up the episode talking football.
No, we're wrapping it up talking about Captain Falcon and the New World Order.
And we got a bunch of citizens here who aren't ready for some football.
We're not ready for some football.
Are you ready for some football?
So yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. We will see you all next time with some reviews and we got some interesting anniversaries. Live Aid turns 40 in July. That's the 40th anniversary of Live Aid. October is the 30th anniversary of the O.J. Simpson verdict.
Why do we keep going back to juice? Seriously.
The juice is loose.
Hey, and also, we'd be remiss if we did not give a shout out to friend of the show, Aaron Harvey.
Yeah, happy birthday, Aaron.
Hey, happy birthday, buddy.
Happy birthday.
I don't know.
Get him back up. We got to get him back on with a different movie.
Yeah. Oh, we got to do like we should have done this one because I wonder if he's ever seen.
Breakfast Club? I don't know, but we made him watch The Day After last time, and that was a cruel thing to do to a youngin.
You guys are missing a big one this year.
What?
Fucking Jaws, man.
Oh.
Jaws is 50 this year.
Whoa.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll definitely talk about that. What's that? May or June?
June, I think it was. I mean, I watch it every end of June or 4th of July. I mean, that's like a evergreen movie for me.
That's a movie I will
never get tired of it.
I watch.
Yeah. Movie's incredible. All right.
That is a remote drop.
There's some things coming up. All right. We're done. We're done. We're done, gang.
Hey, wait a second. I have one more.